Hi everyone! So you haven't seen me on this channel for a few days. That's because filming 6 videos a week really takes its toll and I just don't have a life. I have nothing to vlog. If you wanted to see a vlog, you would see me just in front of the computer, typing away, filming, editing. So yeah, that's been my life recently. That's why I haven't filmed a vlog, because I haven't done anything. And the few days that I actually have done something are the days I just Snapchat because I'm with my family and they don't like to be filmed, so yeah. So we're doing another Let's Talk video, and this Let's Talk was requested. I was requested to talk about learning a third language. So you may or may not know this, but I know English, of course. You're hearing me talk English right now. Spanish is my native language, and I learned French. I started learning French when I was in high school, so I'm going to talk about my experience learning a third language. And my experience is probably not a very common one, because it's going to make me sound very like, oh, like, wait, do you think you're better than me? But it's the truth. It's the truth. So my experience learning a third language was actually a very easy one, like really easy one, especially the basic part, because I chose to learn a language that's very similar to Spanish. So I had that knowledge of the Spanish language and how to conjugate verbs and everything. So when I started learning French, the thing I would do was compare French to Spanish, and I just made those connections in my head. So I just learned the language really easily, like very easy. So it was just a very quick like language to pick up for myself. And also the same with Italian. Like when I started learning it, I just picked it up like that because they're just so similar to Spanish. So I had that foundation and I just needed to make those connections and then like pick up like new words in this and all that stuff. But for me, learning a third language was extremely easy. Another thing that made my experience learning a third language very easy was the fact that I learned it through school. So I started in high school because that's the first opportunity I had to take the French language. So I started in freshman year of high school. Then when I went on to college, I majored in French. So in high school and all the way up to college, I had French classes at least 4 times a week, sometimes 5 in college because I majored in that language. But having like a structured like lesson program and having a teacher there really made it easy, because everything was just like, it's so structured, as I said, and we just followed the lesson guides, and we had like conjugation, and sometimes we would just learn vocabulary, and then we would talk to our classmates. So everything was just like very like, we do this, and then we move on to that. Then you get to read this for your homework. So it just made it so much easier for me. Another thing that helped a lot in my case was the fact that I was really interested in that language. Other people in my class just took it to get rid of that requirement, the foreign language requirement that was in high school, and I think in college, in certain majors, you had to take a foreign language. But I took it because I love the language. I love France, I love Paris, and I knew since high school, since after I came back from my little classroom visit to Paris, I knew I wanted to study abroad in France, and I knew since senior year of high school that I wanted to study abroad in France for a whole year. So that was just like in my mind, and I just knew it, so I put a lot of effort. I started taking classes. Well, I took a bunch of classes in college, and the one class that really helped me out was taking phonetics. So if you have the opportunity to take a phonetics class, whether it be in university, maybe a high school offers it, a community college, take it, because that's the class, that's the course that's really gonna help you with your spoken French. Thanks to that class, that whole semester that I took it, I started developing this really weird accent when I spoke English. It was like this normal Mexican American accent plus a little bit of French. So I can't say anything right now because I'm not taking the phonetics class, so my accent just went back to normal. But it was the oddest thing. Like my friends would be like, "Can you repeat that once again?" And I would say it, and it would just come out really Frenchy. And the reason why is because my teacher, who is an amazing professor by the way, she would make us speak English as the French would. So with their kind of phonetics. So we would learn why they make those mistakes when they speak English and why we make the mistakes that we do as English speakers when we speak French. So that was such an amazing class. I really wish I could have gone further with the phonetics classes, but unfortunately when I attended SDSU, I studied at San Diego State University. When I was in university, that was when all the budget cuts were happening, so the language departments really suffered through those budget cuts and a lot of the classes got cut. The Italian department basically almost disappeared. Like you couldn't even do a major. European Studies department, which was the thing that I minored in, like I couldn't even finish a minor. That's how bad classes were cut. French suffered a little bit, but I mean it was one of the stronger ones just because a lot of international business students take French in order to study abroad. But yeah, so the language department really sucked. Well, it was good. I loved my professors for the most part, but it suffered through a lot through those budget cuts. So I couldn't take a phonetics level 2 class or something like that. Throughout my time of learning French, as I said, it was just very easy for me, even in university. I did struggle writing essays at first just because it's something new, but as the years progressed, my French level got higher and higher, so it was tough, but I did really well in my classes. I think in university I did get a few A's. In high school it was just like A's. In high school French was super easy. University level French was a little bit tough, but I never got anything below a B, which is good considering that's a foreign language. Some of my classes I did get A's. I think I got an A in one of the higher level literature classes, which I was just like because those were the hard classes. Some people would fail those classes and I got A's, so I was just like so proud of myself. But yeah, where am I getting at? Just my experience. So my experience learning French was an easy one. Yes, it's challenging, but I had that foundation, the Spanish language foundation, which made it so much easier. So if you're also a Spanish speaker, you might have a really easy time learning French, especially the basics. Speaking is a little bit weird, especially if you compare it to Spanish, because in Spanish we pronounce everything. We pronounce every single letter that's in a word. So in French it's completely different. Nasal sounds are something that really don't exist in Spanish, and there's a lot of nasal sounds in the French language. A lot of my professors would make us do these weird faces, like I'll give you an example for like the nasal sounds. We would have to go like or the U sound, we would have to make this chicken butt face. So you would have to be stuff like that, but there's actually phonetic related YouTube videos or YouTube channels, so I will leave them down below in case you're learning French. But I suggest you do that. But being interested in the language that you're picking up, it doesn't matter if it's French, Italian, Arabic, German, whatever, having that interest really helps, because that means you're gonna put a lot more effort into that language. You're gonna start looking for French music or French movies, YouTube videos. Right now it's so easy to pick up languages just because of all the resources that are online. So you can easily learn a language nowadays just being online. There's so many websites that you can learn just verb conjugations or how to pronounce things. Forvo.com is an amazing place to just go and like search up a word and find out how you pronounce it, because there's actual like people that record that word, so you're getting native speakers saying that word, then you know how to say it. You could also look up like verb conjugations. Before I would have to buy like books and to like know how to conjugate them, but now you can do it all online. And as for my French, I don't think it's close. I don't think I'm fluent. I'm not gonna be cocky and say, oh yes, I'm fluent, because that's how a lot of people in my study abroad group were, and their French wasn't really that good. But I think I could get fluent if I go to France for a year and a half. That's how I'll put it, because it takes a while for your brain just to think in that foreign language. Like for me, I mainly think in English and Spanish because those are the languages that I'm like 100% fluent and all that stuff, and I just feel really comfortable with those languages. French, on the other hand, I don't really think in French, not yet. And when I was studying abroad in France, it did take me a few months to start thinking in French, just like mentally, just like internal thoughts were in French. I was speaking to myself in French, so it takes a while, and that's why I highly recommend to study abroad. Doesn't matter what language you're studying, if you go abroad, you're gonna really immerse yourself in that culture and learn that language to its full capacity. And I know you can get a student visa. I mean, that's the visa that I went to France with, but you can also get that student visa if you want to go abroad to France or whatever French-speaking country that you want and want to learn French in that country. So there's little like institutes, language institutes in Paris and I think probably all over France that you can go and study French there for a few months if you want to, and you can get the visa. And that's it for this video. So my experience was an easy one, but I did have to put a lot of effort into it. I just had that interest in the French language. So if you're gonna learn a third language, learn a language that you're really interested in. Don't do it just to get that requirement that taken care of in high school or college. Pick something that you really like. And also, if you can, study abroad, but most of all, most importantly, just hard work. Practice, 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 practice hearing French, or practice whatever language, practice speaking it, practice reading it, and the internet is just an amazing resource for foreign languages, so I highly suggest you take advantage of that. So yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Also, if you have any study abroad related questions, I do have a channel that's study abroad related and also a full blog. That's actually how I got started in the world of blogging. I just blogged my experience while I was studying abroad. So I'll leave them down below, but you can also leave me whatever question. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comments below, and yeah. I'll see you guys very soon. If you have any other Let's Talk suggestions, please let me know in the comments. You know where. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I will see you guys very soon with another Let's Talk video or another vlog. We'll see what happens, but I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!